Okay. Let's try a few X-Men runs here. See what happens tonight. Yeah, a whole lot of resets, probably. Okay. It's not bad. Well, that is. So, of course, for those unfamiliar, the main strategy in this game, well, I guess the game itself, stages you're supposed to go through and find a key, and there's a boss, and you get to the end of the stage, and it sets a timer, and then you have to go back to the beginning of the stage before the timer runs out. Normally it takes a long time. Nightcrawler, because they couldn't figure out a way to give you teleportation, and his ability is approximated by being able to walk through walls. So you can just walk through the walls that you're supposed to have a key for. Yeah, the only catch is nobody else can do that but him. So, the idea is you're going to kill off the other character, and the AI is so bad, you'd rather just kill them off than have a second character anyway. Then race to the end of the level with Nightcrawler and hope you don't die. It does use health to walk through walls, so you can't just do it all the time. He also happens to be, well, that wasn't great. He also happens to be the most frail of all the characters, so it doesn't take too many hits to die. Running through the walls uses your health up too, so and of course there's the issues with the fact that there's no iframes in this, and enemies can just pin you against a wall and kill you, and they kind of just spawn whenever. And your only attack is basically just this little nudge that, you know, you might hit them. We're a little slow right now, but at least we're going. Underground stage that I started on is usually the one that's the worst to get through, actually. The enemies there tend to do the most damage out of all the enemies in the game, so it's very easy to die there. I always do it first, and then that's partly that and partly that sometimes it kind of manips where enemies start on the next level I go to, which can make it a little easier to kill off Wolverine. Like, this part right here is normally where you could have a key, but we don't need that. We're dirty cheaters, we just walk through the walls. I mean, I could attack most of these enemies, but the problem is that little nudge is kind of slow, and it really doesn't save you any time. It's usually just about as fast to just move around them and keep going. I'm not sure on my health. You can just kind of run straight down through that, even though you take damage. It will kind of work. Okay. Killed Colossus. The stage isn't the longest, but it's mostly pretty easy as long as you just don't get an unlucky enemy spawn in front of you. This whole game, like the stages and everything, really don't make any sense. It's like, why are we going through a robot factory and then fought Juggernaut at the end of it. Plus he had a robot factory. And I'm still not convinced this was supposed to be an X-Men game. I think this was just some generic game whoever developed this made, because they don't know who developed it. But whoever developed it just had this game laying on the shelf, basically, and LJN was like, hey, we've got the X-Men license, give us a game. Yeah, that was the boss room, but if you get there and there's any power-ups, you have to pick them up before the boss will spawn. If the boss hasn't spawned and you go through the door, you can't go back. So, there's also one of the power-ups, a little S, normally freezes everything on the screen, but it also prevents enemies from spawning for a few seconds. But basically, if you get one of those in the boss room, you have to pick it up or they won't spawn, but then you have to wait until it wears off before they'll spawn. So it's a big time loss if you get one of those, which there was one on that screen anyway. I took a hit there, which isn't great. And another hit. I probably need health to finish the level now. Enemies in this stage do a ridiculous amount of damage. That was an invincibility. I need health, really, though. Probably will not make it, but we'll give it a try here. No? Usually we want to try to pin Wolverine up there with those tanks, or whatever they're supposed to be. They do a lot of damage pretty quick when he's pinned there. If you can get one of the wheels to spawn, those are really good too. You can pin him against the bottom of the screen. Actually made it through first stage there twice. It's kind of a surprise. There's usually have to reset a lot there. Almost inevitably get some enemy that spawns in front of you, and Nightcrawler has so little health. It only takes a few hits for one of them to wipe him out. You can walk through some of these walls to get there a little faster, but I was a little unsure. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Didn't think I had enough health. That's why I went around those, but didn't matter. Yeah, this stage pretty much the same strat every time. Make Cyclops second player, switch to him immediately and run straight into those guys. And hope Nightcrawler doesn't get himself killed. Because unfortunately when you switch characters, the AI controls Nightcrawler while you're doing that, and AI is not confident at all. A lot of times it just likes to stand in one place and attack left and right over and over. But sometimes it'll just run straight into a wall. Might get another one through, maybe. Or even. That's what I want. That little tire spawn. We're actually in the green. I honestly don't remember where I've got time to save on this. Which, I mean, get it down to a 553. I haven't even actually posted that one. I'd like to get it down at least in the 540s. I think it's pretty doable. Some of the best is 542 now, so I didn't really want to take that hit there. unsure about my health now. Didn't want to get pinned in against the wall by the little snake dude. I backed up and despawned him. Of course, none of these guys dropped health and I died. Ugh. It's kind of the story of this. Trying to get to the end of the stage without running out of health from walking through walls or taking hits. Balance that line between, you know, walking through enough walls to get there faster, but not running out of health. Especially if you take a hit somewhere, which is easy to do no matter how careful you are. These enemies will just kind of spawn right in front of you. Took a hit from a bat earlier, so health heavy, I'm sure. Yep, see, there's the S, and now you gotta wait. There he comes. And this is probably too slow to bother with, but we'll keep going anyway. You lose a few seconds if you get an S there like that. Yeah, the tanks are kind of a backup way to take out your second Wolverine there, but that's a health pickup. You really want to get one of the wheels to spawn though and just pin him against the bottom of the screen. The tank can take a lot longer depending on where they spawn at and how they move around. I feel like normally I get a lot of those tire spawns if I do the stage second with Wolverine in the first character slot and Nightcrawler in the second. I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's finishing the last stage on a certain frame or how it works, but probably should have grabbed that invincibility because I'm probably about out of health. Yep. I could have at least walked through a few walls there. If you have invincibility, you don't take damage walking through walls, so. Alright, Slim. That was a good suicide. I haven't taken a hit yet, so we'll go this way. Sometimes I walk around that damage floor, sometimes I don't. I hadn't taken any hits yet, so I figured I'd take the damage to save, you know, whatever fraction of a second that probably saves. Thought that one was coming too. Probably should have just stopped to attack there, but actually I've had the very beginnings went pretty well on this stage. Pretty much every time. Seems like at least every few times I run this, Nightcrawler will run into the enemies too. And you just get a double KO. Which of course it's a reset if he dies, you can't get him back, so didn't want to take that hit. Probably low on health. No enemies, that was kind of weird. Yeah, if I've got health I usually just go straight down through that wall there, but it's a little faster. There we go. Oh, Nightcrawler just about got himself pinned in there too. I will definitely need health. back up to invincibility and hopefully we can get some health here. There we go. At least for Nightcrawler, the health pickups always just put you back at full. I think maybe for like Wolverine or Colossus, they have more health. It doesn't fill them all the way up. I'm not sure though, because you don't really use them doing this. And I definitely never finished this game without just walking through walls. I didn't even finish this game as a kid because, you know, the whole hidden code you've got to put in to get to the last stage, and half of it's printed on the cartridge label and half of it's from these hints you get from... Yeah, I don't know what causes that sometimes. The boss doesn't spawn, but just slows the game down instead. But you have to beat a certain number of enemies in each level, and these messages at the end, some of them are red. This is like the stage, this one and the last stage, so I don't feel like I've got a real good strat to get rid of the AI person yet. Those are definitely places that could use improvement. Going across the bacon here. Let's let it look like frying bacon. And this is a stage, as long as you don't take a bunch of hits, you really should be okay on health. I might want to pick that up. I'll lose more time going back to pick that health up than I would save by being able to go a little faster on this part, because then you could just run straight down and go through the damage floor there and not have to worry about it. This one's easy. That damage tile does a ridiculous amount of damage for whatever reason. So it's real easy to take Colossus out there. Those little round things do a ton of damage. Really have to watch for those. Now, this stage is long, but as long as you don't take hits, you shouldn't need health. It's more just avoiding the enemies. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. I might run out of health now. That was not good. Okay. Juggernaut in the robot factory. Couple hits there, but we should still be okay. This is one part of the stage too. If you're actually walking through a wall there on the left side and get hit, it'll clip you around to the right side. If you have enough health and somehow manage to do that, it can save you a few seconds from having to walk around to the other side. And that was sloppy. I've definitely lost time here. Slow getting the code into. Storm. Stage is actually pretty straightforward. Might actually be the easiest stage in the game unless you just get an unlucky enemy spawn. And we're gonna immediately leave and not even look at Magneto. We don't have time for him. .553. It's a tie. I'll take it though. Yeah, lost some time on that last stage. City stage was pretty sloppy too. Congratulations. You just hit the A button and start again, I guess. Well, do a few more here. Wow. That's different. Guess where I restarted, the enemy spawns were different there. Yeah, because they always seem to spawn exactly like that on a reset. And I'm playing on a real card, it's not like a EverDrive thing or whatever. I do have this real worthless card. Didn't want to take a hit, but we'll keep going here. Stay away from me, snakes. Yeah, we've taken way too many hits here. We're in trouble. Yeah. Alright, go again, I guess. Alright. Yeah, it's like every time those guys spawn, as long as you have Nightcrawler in the first player slot and Cyclops in the second. I've kind of noticed, though, the tires spawning on the city level. You don't get them as often, it seems like, on the real cart versus playing it on EverDrive. It seems like it could just be my luck today, but it seems like I'm getting some pretty good first rooms just on the actual cart too. It's weird, it seems like some of the RNG is just different depending on whether you're on a cart or EverDrive. I know there's some games that are like that, I think like Alf, the Master System Alf game is like that. I usually play this on real card just because I have it, but you know, I don't know if you can actually even beat those bosses or not. I've never even tried to damage them. And you wouldn't be able to beat him with Nightcrawler anyway. I couldn't. And maybe somebody can, but it's not me. Part of the reason I do the levels in the order I do, I mean, I want this level first just because it's so easy to die and it's kind of reset heavy. But it's also to kind of do as little menuing as possible. You'll notice on a lot of the character select screens between levels, I'm just mashing start. When you are selecting things in this game on the menus, if you press select for basically more than a frame or two, it just keeps going. It's very hypersensitive, so part of that is to try to do as little menuing as possible. There's a tire. I'm losing so much time right now. Good. Nightcrawler's probably almost out of health from running in the wall there. There we go. That was so slow though. I lost a ton of time there. Might as well pick that up. More health. Okay. We're good on health now. So much for that we've successfully lost that, but that's okay. Keep going. Here on I can get out of that first stage there. It's worth trying anyway. If I can get out of the first stage and not be way in the red anyway. No one's gonna get hit there too. Don't touch me. Yep. I already see we're going in the red here. I really wish I could find a good strat for this, but I just haven't been able to do it. Trying to depend on damage floors, but they don't do a lot of damage in this level. The enemies don't do a lot of damage either, so not found a real good way to do it other than just trying to get as many of them around you as you can and just run into them. That would be a pretty big time save on this to figure out a faster way to do that. Maybe there's a better way to do the levels. But got pinned. So much for my good luck on that screen. Yeah, actually, the 553 I got, as far as these splits are comparing to, went a little too far over there. I actually didn't even have video of that one. I was just kind of locally recording that one and thought it was going, but didn't actually get it, so I guess I could post that one I got earlier. I figured it was out of health. 6 seconds off the run I posted last year, but I really think 549 or better is pretty reasonable. I just need some decent RNG. That's really the big thing with this though. It's just a lot of RNG and hoping you get decent enemy spawns. Sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. And being able to execute and take advantage of that luck. Stupid mouse. At some point I really need to make some kind of guide for this. I think I had one person actually ask me about it last year, so I don't feel like this is a game a lot of people are going to want to run. I don't know. For me, it's a revenge game more than anything. Loved X-Men as a kid. Love the cartoon. Uncle had this game that was like, oh man, X-Men game. This is gonna be great. It's one of the worst games ever made. It's bad enough no one knows who developed it still. See, I got distracted by that health. Didn't even need it, but I was like, ooh, health. Yeah, no one even knows for sure who actually developed this. That bad. say maybe Pixel is one of the developers they've suggested. I don't know. One of those mysteries. I guess the people who didn't are too ashamed to admit it. I mean, it's probably not the worst game ever made, but it's gotta be up there. The music's okay, at least. I think that's the one thing that makes this tolerable for me to do, is the music's alright. It's not amazing, but it's decent. I mean, I feel like this one, you know, this is kind of a catchy little tune. The menu music's good. None of the stages are bad. See, now we're in Reset Purgatory. But yeah. Definitely not a good game, but you know, even bad games deserve speedruns. Yeah, I was getting ready to say, I probably don't have enough health there. Oh, we've been going here. We've been going about 30 minutes. We'll keep going for a little while. And then maybe play something else here in another 20-30 minutes or so. Do some runs for a minute. This is one of those games I can't really keep doing this for hours on end. I definitely need health. Yeah, this is not a good enough game to want to do this for 4 or 5 hours straight, but yeah, this is only a revenge speedrun. Kinda got interested in playing some of these games again, and I looked and only saw 2 runs on this when I picked it up last year. I just kind of looked over them and, you know, found some things that I thought could be optimized and routed a little better, and spent some time working on it, and here we are. I mean, there's definitely still improvements, I'm sure, over the route I'm running. I think the task is just a little over 5 minutes. Can't remember now. 5:10, 5:14, something like that. I mean, I don't imagine a person's going to be able to match the task just because it's so RNG heavy, but I feel like something around 5.5 minutes or so is going to be reasonable. But it's probably going to take some more routing changes from someone a little smarter than me. Wrong direction. Doesn't help when you run down. I'll take that. Those little metal shutter doors there, even with Nightcrawler, if you run through them, it's a one-hit kill. You cannot walk through those. You should be okay on health with that pickup now, but I know I've lost time there. Keep going though. Yes. Skechers. Yeah, we lost some time for sure after that. plus 3.8, I guess. From being about even to losing 4 seconds. There you go, though. The enemies in this stage don't seem to do a lot of damage, so you can afford to take a few hits here. It's just mostly important not to get pinned. Going through these walls, it's real easy to get an enemy spawn right as you come through. Or when these little snake things turn towards you. They don't do much damage, but they hit you so many times because there's no iframes. Yeah, I didn't necessarily want to get hit there, but it's kind of slow too, but oh, it wasn't. Must have had a bad one on that last run, or on the PB. I'm 2.5 in the green now. See what happens here. This could be a bun. My only concern is it took some hits there earlier, so I don't know what our health looks like. You have to pause to check the health. And honestly, I'd rather just go. I definitely don't want to touch those. I didn't realize those little squares back there were damage tiles. Ooh. Jugs almost got me there. Like, Jugs got you. Oh. Oh. Thought for sure I had the health. That's unfortunate. Get a drink here. Actually, it was a decent looking run till then. Try it again. Nope. Not even gonna try. The moment he hit me there, I had like no health. The little gold dudes, they'll hit you like 3 or 4 times and you're done. I guess, well, I guess they're gold, but I'm colorblind and I'm the worst person to ask. I took way too many hits there too. It's a little slow. We'll keep going with it though. Thought that bat was gonna hit me. That wall down here. I'll just start thinking about what I'm going to do after this. Probably another 15 minutes or so, and I think I'm going to be done with this. Unless I just get some amazing run going. Did get a PB tie though, so one I actually have evidence of. And the other one may as well not happen. I'm definitely locally recording right now too, so you know I have it. health is not great here right now. That didn't help. Run that way to avoid the snakes. I'm really shocked I didn't die there. Oh, yeah, I gotta have that health. Okay, now that I've got that, then what I will do is just run straight down here. It's still pretty slow though. Oh, we got the tire. It's gonna save us some time. Take Wolverine out pretty quickly with that. Wolverine and Colossus are your hardest ones to kill. Colossus I saved for the Robot Factory stage just because there's those damage tiles at the beginning that do, for whatever reason, a ridiculous amount of damage. Wolverine, I've played around with different levels for him. I've taken him to the first stage, the subterranean stage, some because the enemies do a lot of damage, but they still take a while to kill him. Seems like the tires on this stage are about the fastest way I've found to do it, as far as taking him out. Health has got to be bad. I got pinned up against the wall there. Oh, Nightcrawler. Thanks for the help. Dang it, Bobby. Oh, the dog's next to me asleep. You're snoring. Got a decent camera. I'd put one on her anyway. Oh, retro setups in a garage area right now, so not real great for a camera anyway, unless everyone wants to look at all the junk I have piled up. Somehow made up the second. And then Nightcrawler probably just lost half of his health there. So we're going to need a health pickup. Don't touch those little round dudes. They do a lot of damage. Oh. So much for that. Oh yeah, 45 minutes. We'll keep going a little bit. I'm starting to get a little tired of this one though. And I mean, we had one decent run out of it at least. I'll take a second 553 anyway. I need to go the long way around there. This room right here sometimes, that one's sometimes a good one to try to pick up health in. Some big slow moving enemies. Did not mean to hit that mouse. Mickey got in my way. We've got health right now though, so we can just, well, need a tire. There we go. Wolverine's tired. He's the best at what he does, bub. And that's getting ran over by a giant tire. I always kind of love the Australian Wolverine from that Pride of the X-Men pilot. I mean, I realize he's not Australian, but it was still, I don't know, it was just funny to me. Kind of want to live in the world where we had Australian Wolverine. I'm assuming they gave him don't have more health than that. I'm assuming the accent was because of Crocodile Dundee, maybe? I don't know, it seems a little late for the... That was what, 89, 90? I kind of might have still been in that Australia craze at that point. I might have all moved on to ninjas by now, then probably. I don't know. I was pretty young then. Didn't even know about that Pride of the X-Men pilot until years later. I mean, I don't know that it ever actually got shown on TV. I guess maybe it did, I don't know. Should be good on health, barring anything unforeseen here. And we're not great on health, but we're good. Pick up the invincibility there. We're gonna run it. Oh, no tires and no tanks either. Oh, well, so much for that. That was not the strat. Probably should already reset. Got hit. I lost time trying to get health back. And still didn't get health back. Got another hit there. It's not good. I mean, am I even going to get past the next room? Nope. Thought I was gonna die in the room after that, but... That's pretty nice. Sometimes I'll go up this way. It takes a little health to go through that wall, but... it's a little bit safer. Stay away from Mises. Our health has gotta be sketch right now. Gotta be sketchy. I'm so slow picking that up too. Yeah, 2.2 behind. Come on, tire. No. Wasn't great. Really wanted that health. Take that one instead. Come on. No. I was afraid he was going to turn into me there. Those guys are the worst about just pinning you down like that. And that's it. Game over, man! Game over! This room. We're looking good so far. Mises are behaving. Oh, wow, that RNG literally spawned on top of me coming through the door. It's the worst part about this. Oh. Well, forget that. Yeah, we're starting to fall apart a little here. It might be time to move on to something else. We'll give it a few more attempts here, but I think I'm about ready to move on to something else. I think that 553 is probably going to be as good as we're going to do tonight. Mice are behaving. I'm going to say, can we not get a spawn on top of the exit this time? That'd be great. That's faster than I thought it was. Had to take the backup kill there, though, unfortunately. So I probably lost some time for that. But we're still okay right now. Hey, we were in the green on the last one, so there's a chance. Okay, health's a little shaky here, so we're gonna have to be a little careful about not clipping through too many walls. I don't have to. Oh. Thought I was gonna be able to nudge him there. That's the thing, if they spawn or move in front of you coming through a wall, it's kind of tricky to do anything about it. I mean, you can attack right as you're coming through the wall, but you can't attack inside the wall. Wow, a bunch of those dudes there. Couple more, and then I'm gonna pick a different game. I think I've about had my fill of this. Whoops. Looked away for a second. Guess that's what happens. Not that one. Dropped some frames somewhere. Guess we're okay now. Keep an eye on it. Yeah, do maybe a few more. If I can't get one out of this level, then I think we'll move on. Wow. Terrible room. Could not have been much worse. Oh, come on, Cyclops. You can't even die, right? We'll grab the health. It's already slow, though. Thought I was going to be able to make it around the bat. That was better. We can just not get hit now. It said not get hit. A little too much to ask, I guess. We'll do 3 more. And that will be it for this game for tonight. We'll move on to something else. Maybe some dodgeball. That might be it. Something a little less irritating. Not having fun. Our health has got to be so low right now. Get a tire. Oh, no. What have you done? You idiot, what have you done? We're in the green. It was such a good looking start, and then the AI. Like, oh, I'm helping. No, you're not helping. Take that health. We're already behind anyway, so let's take the health. I really thought that snake was going to move forward and pin me in. Should be okay on health. Not like great, but okay. Probably afford to walk through a few there. But we're gonna lose time on that. And see, I'm not sure you can even damage those guys. huge time loss. Real slow stage, but we'll see if we can finish this one out anyway. I'm definitely done after this one regardless. Across the crispy bacon. Delicious. Oh, it's close. No. Ah. Knew it was gonna happen. Oh well. Let me stretch for a minute. Figure out what I want to pick next here. I'll be right back. Alright, I think I'll do a little Rygar for a bit. I actually got a PB in this the other day, so see what the skips are looking like today. This is the Japanese version of it. Mostly just play this one for the music. It's a little better on these two stages, but then you miss out on Sagila's Cave. But 80% I don't get to hear that anyway. Didn't even start my timer. It's mostly to avoid hearing the Superman music and Brahms lullaby over and over. Can't catch me, turtle. Never understood what the little red dudes are supposed to be. Are they like hoop snakes? The little green guys, drop bears? Are these drop bears up here? These turkey looking dudes that drop down? They look like cartoon Thanksgiving turkeys with a lizard head. Yeah, those are drop bears. The round dudes are hoop snakes. This is Australia. Explains a lot about why this game is so dangerous. That was slow. Oh well. Keep going. Not gonna reset over that. There's a river armadillo. Almost got a little too close there. Kind of funny, I got a PB on this the other day. I'd done a couple runs before that PB and they were pretty rough. Guess it didn't take too long to shake the rust off. No bats. I got a swag up here. The trick is going to be getting the skip. Figure give it 3 or 4 tries and then I'll probably reset. And I think I got it on the 2nd or 3rd on that PB. I like to get under 8 minutes, and I mean, I think it's possible even given using these strats, but definitely going to require a first try skip. That went good. Let's get down the rope. Despawn the shrimp. Touch me. Alright, moment of truth. How many attempts? Oh, didn't feel too far off. Let's give it a second attempt because I'm already in the red. There we go. I'll take a second try. I mean, we're probably not going to PB off this, but we'll take it. Now, don't miss this jump. It's showtime. I'm shocked I already got a run going on this. Here, this will take a few resets. I mean, we're probably not going to PB. We're already too far behind, but that didn't help either. Oh, goodness. It actually looked okay up until there. I got too greedy trying to fix my spawns there. Bounce off the hoop snake. See you later, Donatello. Jump over the branch. Should probably learn how to do that ball clip, I guess, just for the swag points. Doesn't really save much time from what I can tell. Probably less than a second. But it looks cool, which is really the important thing. Just haven't bothered to learn that yet. It's funny, I went in there and got the skip on the second try. We'll probably never get it again now. The River Armadillo. Never understood it. This guy's supposed to be like the turtles you're fighting in the side view levels or something different. I gotta say, the front and back view Rygar sprites are definitely not as polished either. Also, Rygar really pale. I mean, I'm a ginger. So if I think he's pale, he probably should get out in the sun a little bit. I'm getting the lizards every time here. So that's good. I always hate getting the bats, because then you have to kind of swat them out of the way and jump over the door. I feel like I'm going to get a bat up here. Knew it. Oh well. We could at least get our swag there. That's the important part. Good as a run if you don't have any swag in it. Where's it going? Bat desperately trying to keep up. Side of his heart are blowing out like old tires. That wasn't ideal. Didn't want to hit him twice. I'll probably not be able to do this the way I want to. We're gonna try it. Oof. Made it. Despawn the shrimp. Ooh. Oh. That wasn't great. Probably not getting the clip on the first try now. Goes from a 2-frame window to frame perfect if you don't have full health, so... Well, you gotta actually get the fireball to hit you. There's that. Yep. Feel like I'm not gonna get it now. It's because I messed up that run earlier. I'll give it another try or two and it'll reset. Too early. Real slow, but we might as well try to finish it. Don't miss the jump. It's weird because a lot of games I've played with an SNES controller on this. It's just one of the little adapters. Just because the brick is not comfortable for me. I've got pretty big hands. Oh, come on. We're not going to get rid of this guy now, are we? Nope. Oh, so much for this one. No longer a bun. Whee! Try it again. You know, I feel like I probably don't even need a split for the second clip, because, I mean, that one's almost free. It's only basically the first clip, and how long it takes you to grind and beat the boss. Most of the rest of the run is pretty free and easy. Watch out for the drop bears. I think that's what I decided earlier. Those are the drop bears. The red guys are hoop snakes. This is Australia. Never been to Australia. Would love to go there, but I'm just assuming it looks about like this now. Down the rope. Yeah, I see like these rear and front sprites, like his head's just an outline from behind. Like, look at that. He just drew a white circle and filled it in. It looked a lot dumpier from the back too. Front's a little better, but at least put a couple black dots for eyes and a mouth, something. I mean, I guess this is a pretty early NES game though, so can't set the expectations too high. Boo, we got a bat. I don't think it's really that much slower, it's just annoying. Bet we'll get one here too. Nope. That little move, of course, is super easy. You just hit down at the top of a rope and you crouch midair, then jump. Basically kind of the same principle as the airwalks that I do in like the world record run. You crouch in midair. You can walk off a ledge and crouch. Kind of stay in midair. Just trying to do one there real quick, but you basically have to just keep tapping. Forward and crouch, alternating. I don't know. Probably are like one frame taps or something. Not necessarily the person to ask about that because I don't do them. Maybe one of these days. Try to figure that out. Don't touch me. Might be a little above my skill level though. Here we go. Oh. A little too fast there. A little fast again. Too slow. It felt close. It was a little late, I think. Was definitely late there. Too fast. If I don't get it this time, I'm gonna reset it. Of course I'll get it that time. Why not? I mean, this is super slow at this point. At least finish a run. Don't miss the jump. Nope, I did miss it. R.I.P. Go again. Yeah, this stage and the next stage are the main reason I use the Japanese ROM. Music's a little more tolerable. That and the US ROM I had was actually a revision A ROM. You can't do the bat bounces on that one. Yeah, I could just download the non-revised ROM, but I like this music better anyway. It's a little less repetitive and annoying. Eventually, try to pick up No Wrong Warp of this. We'll definitely run the US version then, though. Can't miss out on Sagila's Cave. Even if it means I'm gonna listen to the Superman theme and Brahms Lullaby. His feet look a little weird. Facing down sprite too. I know, I'm just nitpicking. Nitpicking on a game that's nearly as old as I am. Move out. I'll take that. Puppy's moving around. I was gonna say puppy, she's 60 pounds, but they're all puppies. really. I was distracted by the cuteness, we'll say that. Don't really have a camera other than the laptop camera. Or I'd maybe put one on the dog. Although it'd just be a whole stream of watching her sleep. Almost missed jumping up on that ledge there. Keep saying I need to learn the little swag clip back there. I feel like it's usually one of a handful of patterns here. I was gonna say I feel like that one was the one I wanted. No river armadillo this time. Also, I think we can definitely confirm from that rear sprite that Rygar's got some Hank Hill glutes going on. It's funny, I just said something about how most of the rest of this run was pretty free, and then died on part of it I said was free. Sometimes I should have shut up. Okay, no bad here this time. Swag up there. I don't think it's any faster or slower to do that. I haven't got that lizard pop up there to hit me. Any of these. It's weird. Yeah, there's a little airwalk. I'm gonna do that. We'll move. Then you have to keep doing these little quick forward taps and crouching again. Oh my god. Oh, mercy. Missed the bat. Well, that's something. Getting a little sleepy here. Probably go for another 30-45 minutes. Don't know if I'll play this the whole time or not. Kinda thinking of doing a little dodgeball, or maybe actually had been watching Arcus play some Die Hard lately and started doing that one a little. That one's kind of a nice little quick and easy run. So may switch over to that in a little bit. I'd like to eventually get a decent little number of things that I can run and try doing some little short marathon runs. I don't feel like I can focus on a lot of games for a long period. Kinda get bored after a minute or two. Well, more than a minute or two, but after a little bit. So, doing something like that, being able to mix it up, because I mean, realistically, most of these games I'm not trying for world record or anything. It's all just trying to have some fun. I feel like the marathon stuff would be a good way to kind of challenge yourself, and wow. Jeez. Oh. I'm not gonna PB now. I don't know why I didn't just reset, honestly, but I think I'm to the point I want to at least try to skip, try to get some practice on the skips. I'm gonna reset early a few times here. Yeah, it's just probably not going to be on the hunt for Rygarg either. I think I missed my chance earlier. I did not get distracted trying to do airlocks there. I did a little baby airlock. Definitely not able to do them to the point that I can execute that in a run at all. Get rid of the shrimp. I'm not a big shrimp person anyway. Like actually for real, not just the enemies. Well, we're already behind and haven't even tried it once. Too late. You're too late. Too early. Well, I got one anyway. Let's try to finish a run here. Really? Wow. Yeah, I missed the free skip. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting that jump most of the time now, and I think it's just, I've been using the SNES controller in a lot of games. Got big hands, the brick just kind of hurts my hands. SNES is a little more comfortable. And I feel like I've had a lot more luck with it. Jump for whatever reason with the SNES pad. But then like X-Men runs, I've got to use the brick. Like the start and select buttons, at least on this Super Famicom pad I'm using, are way too sensitive for the menuing on that one. least actually finish the game this time. I think I'll probably move on after this. But I wanted to at least try to finish a run. We're getting closer here. We can at least get it under 10 minutes. So we're, what, a minute behind? I ain't been counting on my mom boys. I have no idea where I'm at there. I've definitely got 7 now, but nowhere near enough 10. Probably should have. Yeah, I bet I could have went on that one. A double. I'll probably sit here and never get another double again now. Nope. We're going. Maybe we can at least get under 9 minutes. Oof. It's iffy. I don't think so. We're gonna be over 9. Oh, come on. Yeah, we definitely are gonna be over now. Oh, good grief. Get in the door. .906. But that is a run. I at least finished one. Even if it's not my proudest time by a long shot. Alright. Let's do a little dodgeball real quick here. Do a little reset. I actually have a card of this, but I'd rather not have to switch cards out. And go. That wasn't. Stupid Jack. I had him. I'm gonna try to just do the jumping throw and finish him off. So much for that. Only one of them. It's not great. Well, we got all 3 there. Uh-oh. DBK coming in with a raid? Hey, thanks DBK for coming in. How are you doing? Hope you're streaming tonight. What's going on, man? Got got some hot dodgeball action going on here. Nothing much going on. What were you streaming tonight? Hey, yeah, thanks. Kind of took a break for a while, had some real life stuff going on, but decided to kind of try to do a little bit of this when I got time. What have you been up to streaming tonight, though? Anything good? Gene Toha? I've never played that one. Oh, come on, Randy. You're not supposed to have the ball. We went over this. Never played that one, though. What's that one? I'm assuming it's an arcade game of some kind. Okay. Retro Fighter for PS1. Gotcha. Okay. I don't think I played that one, but might be one I have to get a try. Got excited about Rygar. Oh, I forgot to change my title. I did a few runs of it. Got a new PB in that the other day. Got like an 8-12. Would like to get under... Shoot, I never even split. I'm getting distracted talking. I'd like to get under 8 minutes on that one at some point. I can't do the airwalks, but maybe one of these days. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, did a few runs of that. Was not having a lot of luck on that, the Aruga skip on that boss there today, though. I think it just wasn't my day on those skips. That can't be right. I'm not 25 seconds over. But, yeah, it wasn't quite my night. On Rygar. But it happens. I did at least finish a run, which was the important thing. Kind of would like to pick up the No Wrong Warp on that one too. Nothing else, just to get to hear Sagila's Cave. The stage actually went pretty well. My timer is all jacked up though. I just now realized that. Yeah, was not doing real well on the skips tonight though, so decided to kind of wind down with something a little lower stress. I'll probably be doing some more runs of that the next few times I'm on though. Really would like to get that sub 8. This is going okay so far. Well, only Tom from MySpace left. A little in the red. We'll go with it. Some knockoff Hard Day's Night action here. Oh, come on now, James. You're not allowed to duck. We went over this. It's against the rules. Not bad. No, come on. We don't want Swami. Come on. We're not allowed to catch it either. It's against the rules. This stage is not happening. Oh, we're way behind. We'll keep going. Whatever. Gotta at least finish one. I can't just reset every time. Of course, this will be the kind of run where you're 30 seconds behind and then get golds on everything. What happened there? Kind of like how this game depicts Iceland as just like Antarctica, basically. I wonder if that's offensive to people that live in Iceland. Yeah, I know it gets cold there, but it's not like this. Seconds in the red. Just getting slower and slower. I mean, I know they've got to have some, surely. Where's the Cool Kids from? It's not Iceland, but it's somewhere up that way. Like Norway, maybe? I don't remember. I think he's from somewhere in that neck of the woods, though. Randy, we went over this. You're not allowed to touch the ball. There we go. We'll get a little better start here. That's better. Come on. Like how the music in this game was clearly made back in the era when they didn't really worry about copyright infringement. Like all of the music in Earthbound with the Runaway 5. One's definitely Hard Day's Not. Let's just reset. This one's definitely like Hard Day's Not, at least the middle part of it. That definitely should have hit more than one of them. Wrong button. I gotta finish one here. At some point, I can't keep resetting. Even if it's not a good one. We'll take it. I do think it's kind of interesting how the Japanese version of this is completely different level order. That one was pretty good. Their stages and teams and stuff are different. I mean, I know it's because it's a Kunio-kun game and they didn't really transfer that over here, but just interesting. Still mostly the same game, but yeah, the first stage actually in the Japanese version of this is Japan. It's supposed to be like Kunio's rival high school. But then the team you face is, it's still the same, like, All-Stars team. Just, it's like that high school's name instead. And then I think it's mostly the same order, except USA is last, and I think maybe Kenya is after the Soviet Union. It's not huge, it's more just, I think it's more really just the order you do things in. All the teams and players and stuff are the same. I mean, the names I'm sure are different. But it is kind of neat how it's got some subtle differences like that. Yeah, like you still face this team first, but it's in Japan. And then the team that you face in Japan is the USA team, but you face them on this stage. And then, yeah, I think USA is last, and I think, like, Kenya's before that, and then Soviet Union before that, but I think otherwise it's the same. That one's not great, but it's good enough. We gotta finish around here. Of course, when I'm 12 seconds behind, that's when I would get no Swami on the first try. The stage is looking pretty good. Well, spoke too soon. Whatever. I feel like it's almost faster just to walk a few steps on this one instead of running back and forth. I haven't really actually sat and looked to tell the difference. It's by the time you slide a little bit after the run, I feel like you're probably losing time. Yeah, what all games are on that collection? Gain a little more time. I haven't really played any of the games in that, any of those games that were Japan only. I mean, I played this, I played River City Ransom, the soccer game that's Captain Tsubasa. Is that in the Kunio-kun series too? Or is that something different? I feel like there was maybe another game in that series I saw in like an episode of Game Center CX. It's the only ones I've played, though. Gotcha. Okay. I know there was a... I guess it's like kind of a sequel to River City Ransom that was on SNES. Or Super Famicom, rather. It didn't come out in the US, but... River City Ransom is another one I'd like to learn a speedrun for. I think that would be a really fun one. Always loved that game too. That level was slow. Yeah, I haven't played a lot of them either. Like I said, just the original River City Ransom on the NES is really the only one I've played, as far as those go. Okay, Forest, you're gonna have to get hit a little bit here. Missed every one of them. This is so slow now, but I gotta finish it. Gotta finish this out. Nothing else. I gotta hear those jams on the last stage. This music is worth the price of admission right here. Randy, come on. For some reason, when I was a kid, I always wanted to imagine that Randy on this was Macho Man Randy Savage. No idea why, it doesn't look like him. It was just because I was big into wrestling then. The whole idea of it's kind of funny though. Out there in his cowboy hat and the tassels and everything, playing dodgeball. Oh, let me tell you, you got your 3 minutes, brother. Oh. All is ready. Ugh. 7:22. We'll take it though. It's a finished run. It could be worse. Yeah, the ending, actually, this part is different too in the Japanese version because USA is the last stage. Actually, the photo here is with the background of the USA stage, like they do this part on it too. So the ending here is just a little bit different. Let's see. I could probably go for another 10 or 15 minutes. Well, thank you for the GGs. Should I do this? I guess I could try to go back and do another Rygar run. What do you think? I'll let you tell me what to do. I'm kinda up for either. I got about another probably 20 minutes or so, and then I probably need to go then. Sorry, I gotta stretch a little bit there. You know what? I'm gonna go back to Rygar again. Just because you came here for Rygar. I gotta give you some Rygar then. Even if it's a mediocre run. Swap it over real quick here. Let me make sure and check something real quick. I can't remember if I actually turned save states off on this EverDrive or not. I think I did. Okay. Didn't want to accidentally turn those on. Yeah, let's do a few. See if we can finish a run on this too. I do always play the Japanese version on this one just because the music in these first couple stages I think is a little better. It's not Superman and a lullaby. I think if I was going to do... I want to do the No Wrong Warp run on this eventually, and I probably would just do the US ROM for that, because you can't miss out on the cave music. You need to learn that little clip through the wall. I mean, I know it doesn't save time, but it looks cool. That's what's important. Never understood some of these enemies in this game, though. Like, what are these things here? They look like lizards with a cooked turkey for a body. Yeah, I feel like there's a big difference too in like the front and back facing sprites versus the side facing sprites. Like, definitely looks like they put a lot more work into the side scroll sprites. And his head's just a wide outline there from behind. No bat. There we go. Good. I always hate getting a bat there, because then you gotta kind of jump and swat him out of the way. It's sort of annoying. Swat that one out of the way, too. I should have just jumped. What was I thinking? At least didn't get snot by the lizard there. Don't think we're getting a clip on the skip on the first try now, though. Since it's frame perfect if you don't have full health. I've tried to learn the bottom route instead of going this way and it'd bounce off the bats, but I feel like the airwalks are just about as easy to figure out. I think they just take a lot of practice getting the one frame taps. Alright. About to be moment of truth. How many attempts on this skip? I'm going to say 3. Not that one for sure. Oh, second try. Take that. Alright, now just don't miss the jump. Let's go back. Jump too far again. This is like the one part you absolutely can't screw up on this. And I did. Oh, jeez. Actually got the skip quick and then fell from the castle. It was funny because I had just mentioned earlier that I hadn't really been missing that jump a lot anymore. But this is what I get for saying something. I gotta say, this game's supposed to take place in like ancient Greece, and I want to know what part of Greece has purple mountains like that. Ragar's got to be the wildest video game character I've ever seen, too. I mean, he looks like he's got to be living in a coffin. I mean, I'm a ginger. I can't really say a whole lot, but he's basically translucent. You'd think being outside fighting all this stuff, he'd get a little bit of a tan. Alright, how about no bat? Drop here. Alright, let's just not get snapped, please. Oh! I knew as soon as I said it he would show up. Shrimp. It's always so funny to me, this bat will just keep following you. Like, even though you're moving so much faster. Like, I can do it, I can catch you. Just gotta believe. Alright. How many tries? Oh, first try. Feeling lucky. We got a chance. We could not miss this jump again. We totally missed a jump. We are dead. Wow. That was unfortunate. Can't believe I missed that jump twice in a row. Oh, goodness. What time is it? Let me see if I can try to do one more run of this. I want to at least finish another one. See if we can at least finish one. Before I gotta get out of here and get to bed. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I fell on the jump from the castle. I had to reset. If you miss that jump, you can't... That's the one place you can't keep going from. If you die on that jump, it respawns you at the beginning of that level. This week, possibly, would probably be the weekend, I think, if I do. Probably not tomorrow, and then I work nights, so probably wouldn't Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. And then Christmas would probably mostly spending with the kiddos, maybe Christmas Day that night, or like the 26th, possibly. Would be one of those 2 days if I do again later this week. I'm gonna try to maybe do this like once a week or something, maybe. You know, don't have time to do it all the time with work and other things going on, but I'm gonna try to at least do once a week. Just happen to have time the last few days. So yeah, maybe the night of Christmas or the day after, later this week. Stupid bat. Stay away from me. Don't touch me. Yeah, that jump from the castle there at the end is like the worst part, because if you miss that jump, it puts you back at the beginning of that stage and you can't get back to where you're supposed to be without having the crossbow and the pulley. Stuff that you don't have by doing skips. It's kind of a one-try thing to get that jump, and you have to do it a certain way because there's like an invisible wall you have to jump around to get it. It's kind of funny, I actually had mentioned earlier when I was doing this game that I hadn't been missing those jumps lately, and then missed it twice in a row now. So it goes. Oof. Cut that jump a little close. There we go. That one was a little better. Get rid of the shrimp. Alright. Back to here again. At this point, I'm just going to finish this one, even if it takes me 10 tries to get the skip. Yeah, way too early that time. Really don't have time to start another one, so I'm just going to keep going until I finish it, or I mess this jump up again, one of the two. Too late. There we go. It's behind, but we're gonna go with it. Alright. See if I can not miss this jump up again. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think this isn't my knot. Yeah, because if you miss that jump, you start here. And there's no real way to get back to where you're supposed to be once you're over here. And that's rip, end of run right there. Oh, goodness. Well, I think I'm probably going to have to cut here in a minute. Just gonna see maybe. I haven't even looked how many we got in here right now, but maybe see if there's anybody I could host or raid here. Guess I could pick some better music here to end this out on. Oh, for the skip, yeah, you have to, you basically want it to hit you in the back of the shoulder when you're falling down that tree. You want it to hit you in the back of the shoulder and it pushes you over into the next screen. Usually I kind of do that little pause when I jump over it. Oh, I think you're behind a little bit here. I think you're a little behind the video. Yeah, I missed the jump again. But yeah, you kind of want it to hit you in the back of the shoulder. I usually do that little pause, and then I'll kind of watch the fireball, and right about when it gets to the boss's ear, if you drop, then usually that will get you pretty close. I think I got that from that White Hat tutorial for that game. That's kind of where I got that visual cue. But yeah, I think probably going to need to cut it here. See if there's anybody for me to raid or pass on to. Tell you what, I think. Trying to look and see who's on. Unfortunately, I'm up kind of late, so not a whole lot of people on. Actually, looks like Grayskull is playing Amita's Curse. It's a Zelda 2 hack. It's kind of wanted to get around to doing a casual play of that at some point, so I think maybe we'll go there. But yeah, DB, thanks for the raid, man. I appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you around again some more. Yeah, man, anytime. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, hope you're doing well as